What happens when a man who hasn't done daytime TV in years walks onto a stage known for tough questions, live reactions, and zero room to hide? Make sure to subscribe to Fame After Hours and like and comment for more talk show coverage. Joy Behar looks directly at the camera, her expression a mix of curiosity and skepticism. My next guest hasn't been on daytime television before, and today, he asked to come on, not to promote a movie, not to promote anything. Just talk. The audience murmurs, some clapping softly. Joy smiles faintly, which is either very brave or very dangerous. She gestures toward the entrance. Please welcome Johnny Depp. Applause fills the studio. Some enthusiastic, some hesitant, a few whispers of disbelief. Johnny walks out slowly, hands in pockets, nodding slightly to the audience. He doesn't wave or pose. He just walks calmly but with a visible tension, like someone carefully stepping into a storm. Joy rises to shake his hand. Well, look at that. You're real. Last I checked, Johnny says with a small smile. They sit, the camera capturing the audience's anticipation. Joy leans forward slightly. Why now? You've had years to speak publicly. Why here? Why today? Johnny pauses, looking down briefly before meeting her gaze. Because silence starts to feel like guilt. And if I don't speak for myself, others will speak for me. The audience goes quiet, sensing the weight of the statement. Joy, it doesn't soften. People have been speaking about you nonstop. Courts, headlines, documentaries, everyone has an opinion. Exactly, he replies. Joy crosses her legs, eyes narrowing slightly. So, is this about clearing your name? No. If someone still believes what they believe, I'm not sure a talk show will change that, Johnny says. Joy folds her hands, leaning back slightly. Then what do you want? To be human again, he answers simply. The audience reacts, some murmuring agreement, others whispering to their neighbors. Joy presses on. Are you angry? I was. For a long time. Now I'm tired, he admits. Joy leans forward. Tired of what? The accusations? The attention? The circus? All of it. Mostly being treated like a symbol instead of a person, he says. A ripple runs through the audience. Some nod, some sit silently, absorbing it. Joy studies him. You've been careful with public appearances. Is this safe? This doesn't feel safe, he admits. Joy smirks slightly. Good, because it isn't. She leans in, voice sharper. People will dissect everything you say today. Clip it, debate it, misinterpret it. Johnny finishes the sentence for her. And probably distort it. The audience laughs softly at the shared understanding. Joy softens, but keeps her tone probing. What do you think people misunderstand most about you? That I'm either a villain or a victim. I'm neither. Just a guy who made mistakes and paid for them publicly, he says. The audience responds with quiet applause, reflective murmurs filling the room. Joy glances at the camera, then back to him. We're just getting started. Because if you came here to just talk, as you said, we're going to talk. Johnny nods. That's why I'm here. The camera widens to capture the audience buzzing, some clapping quietly, some leaning forward in anticipation. The energy shifts, shock softening into curiosity and tension. Whatever comes next won't be polite small talk. Joy leans forward, resting her elbow lightly on the desk, her eyes fixed on Johnny. Let's get a little more personal, if that's okay. You've been through some of the most publicized battles anyone can imagine. And yet, here you are, sitting in front of all of us. Do you ever feel broken by it all? Johnny shifts slightly in his seat, his gaze steady but thoughtful. Broken maybe at times, but broken isn't the same as defeated. I learn a lot about people, about myself, about what matters when the world is watching. The audience murmurs, some nodding, others leaning forward, sensing honesty in his tone. Joy gestures subtly toward him. You said before that people either see you as a villain or a victim. But let me ask you this. Do you think the public even wants the truth? Or do they want a story that fits what they've already decided about you? He chuckles lightly, almost ruefully. Oh, they want the story. They've always wanted the story. Truth is complicated. Stories are simple. Headlines are even simpler. The audience laughs softly, the kind of laugh that comes with recognition. Everyone has seen it play out in the media, whether they like it or not. Joy tilts her head, narrowing her eyes. So, in all these years, with the trials, the documentaries, the gossip, what's the hardest part? What really hits you? He leans back slightly, folding his hands over his knee. The hardest part is the assumptions. That people believe they know you, understand you, and judge you without ever meeting you, without hearing you. A few audience members murmur agreement, some nod slowly. The studio is quiet, hanging on every word. Joy leans in again. And yet, here you are, in front of a live audience, speaking for yourself. That's brave, or maybe risky. Johnny's eyes meet hers, calm but sharp. Risky, yes. Brave? I don't know. I'm not looking for applause. I'm just looking to be heard. Joy pauses for a moment, letting that sink in. Do you ever feel isolated in all of this? Like the world has moved on and you're still trapped in the headlines? He nods slowly. Yes, there are moments when it feels like you're walking in a bubble, separate from everyone else. You see life through a lens you didn't choose, and it distorts everything. The audience is quiet, some leaning forward. You can feel the tension, the empathy, the curiosity mingling together. Joy shifts, voice softer now, almost reflective. I can't imagine what it must feel like. People act like celebrities live in some bubble of perfection, but clearly, that's not reality. You face something that most of us couldn't even imagine. Johnny takes a slow breath. Exactly. And that's why I decided to speak today. Not to apologize, not to explain everything, but to remind people that underneath it all, I'm just a person. A person who has been through very public pain. Joy leans back slightly, folding her hands. Public pain is a strange thing, because people comment on it like it's entertainment. But this is your life, your relationships, your mistakes. He nods, voice quiet but firm. Yes, and the thing people don't often see is the aftermath, the loneliness, the constant scrutiny, the judgment that doesn't end with a verdict, doesn't end with a story, doesn't even end with time. It lingers. A soft, sympathetic murmur rises from the audience. Joy doesn't interrupt, letting him continue. And that's why appearances like this matter, he says. Because you get a moment to just speak without it being filtered through 10 different lenses. Just human conversation. Joy leans forward again. And yet, you must know, some people will hate you for even being here. They'll say, how dare he appear on TV after all of this? He smiles faintly, almost dryly. They're allowed to hate me. I can't control that. I can only control what I do in the moment. Joy nods, a mixture of admiration and curiosity in her tone. That's refreshingly honest. You don't hide. You don't pretend. But let's be real. There are moments you must feel misunderstood, right? Johnny's voice is steady. Of course. Every day, misunderstanding has become normal. But it's also taught me patience. Taught me to focus on what's real, not what's imagined. The audience reacts again, a low, respectful clap. Some whisper to their neighbors, clearly impressed by his composure. Joy tilts her head. I'm curious, with everything behind you now, and still the world watching, how do you handle criticism? Because it's not just headlines, it's social media, it's talk shows, it's public opinion. Johnny's lips press together, then relax. I've had to learn not to take it personally, to separate who I am from what people think of me. It's a daily exercise, but it's necessary if you want to keep some sanity. Joy's tone softens slightly. And yet, you still put yourself out here. To be questioned, dissected, scrutinized. Because silence isn't enough anymore, he says quietly. And maybe someone watching needs to hear that it's okay to survive. It's okay to not be defined by the worst moment of your life. The audience responds with a mix of applause and soft murmurs. The kind of reaction that feels reflective rather than performative. Joy leans back, studying him carefully. You know, people will remember moments like this forever. Not the interviews you did years ago, not the roles you played. They'll remember the honesty, if they're willing to see it. Johnny nods. That's all I hope for. To be seen as a person, not a headline. Joy smiles faintly, almost warmly, but still sharp. Well, we're far from done. Because if you came here to just talk, I have plenty more questions. Johnny leans forward slightly. Then let's keep talking. The camera pans to the audience, buzzing, leaning forward, some clapping quietly, some whispering. You can feel the tension and curiosity building. Whatever comes next, the conversation is only going to get deeper. Joy leans forward, her expression sharp. Let's get into the tough stuff. People want drama. They want the story. But you've said before, you're not here to give them that. So tell me, how do you handle the things that really hurt you? Johnny leans back, hands clasped loosely. I handle them the only way I can. By staying present. By remembering who I am, not who the world says I am. The audience murmurs, some nodding in agreement. Joy raises an eyebrow. And yet it must be exhausting. Constant judgment, constant scrutiny. Does it ever get to you? He smiles faintly, almost wryly. Of course. But that's life, isn't it? Everyone has their battles. Mine just happen under cameras. Joy presses on. Do you ever feel betrayed? By people you trusted? Johnny's eyes darken slightly. Yes, but I've learned to accept that betrayal is part of being human. Not everyone will stand by you. Not everyone will see the truth. A few audience members shift in their seats, whispers floating. Joy leans back, her tone softer but probing. And what about the people who don't believe you? Who think you manipulated situations? He exhales slowly. I can't control what people think. I can only control what I do and how I live my life moving forward. Joy nods, her voice calm but with edge. Fair enough. But some people will never forgive. Some people will always see you as a villain. Johnny shrugs lightly. Then let them. I've lived long enough to know that's their choice, not mine. The audience reacts. A mix of soft applause and quiet murmurs of understanding. Joy leans in, voice firmer. You've talked about wanting to just be human again. Do you feel like that's possible? After everything. Johnny's gaze is steady, almost resolute. I do. Slowly, bit by bit. Every day is a step toward reclaiming myself. Joy studies him for a long moment. It's rare to hear someone speak like this in public. Honest. Not defensive. Not performative. He smiles faintly. I don't have the energy for performances anymore. A ripple of applause moves through the audience. Joy leans back, a thoughtful smile on her face. You know, this conversation is just beginning, but it's already different. Raw, honest, real. Johnny nods. That's why I came. Not for headlines. Not for sympathy. Just to be heard. Joy looks toward the audience. And I think that's exactly what we're witnessing. A man who has faced everything. Speaking, truly speaking, for himself. The camera pans over the audience, some clapping, some leaning forward, all captivated. You can feel the tension building toward the final moments. Joy leans back in her chair, folding her hands, her eyes fixed on Johnny. We've talked about pain, judgment, and being misunderstood. But let's take a step back. You've faced unimaginable scrutiny. Do you ever reflect on it all? And think, how did I get here? Johnny sits quietly for a moment, looking toward the ceiling as if the answer is somewhere in the air above them. I do, he says softly. Every day in some way. Not out of regret, necessarily, but because you start to understand how fragile public perception can be, how quickly it can define a life. The audience murmurs, some leaning forward, others whispering to neighbors. A woman shouts softly from the back, "We see you, Johnny." Some laughter, some cheers, a mix of support and disbelief. Joy gestures to quiet them. Hold on, hold on. We're not doing a fan club right now. Johnny smiles faintly, almost wryly. I get it. I appreciate it. Joy's voice softens. I think what's striking is that even now, years later, people are still forming opinions about you, based on snapshots and sound bites. How do you cope with that? I try to remember that those opinions aren't the measure of who I am, he says. They're the measure of what people want to believe. And that's not always reality. A few audience members nod. A man in the front whispers to his neighbor, "That's true." People do rush to judgment. Joy leans forward again. "So what's next for you?" "You've reclaimed some normalcy, some humanity, at least publicly. But what about the future? How do you move forward after everything?" Johnny sighs, shoulders relaxing slightly. "Carefully, thoughtfully. I'm focused on my work, on my passions, on people who truly matter. And I'm learning to let go of what I can't control. Headlines, rumors, public opinion. That's freedom in itself." The audience reacts with gentle applause. A few shout, "We love you, Johnny." Some supportive, some just excited. Joy smirks. There it is again, the love and the noise all at once. She leans back, shaking her head slightly. Now let's talk reality. Social media has been relentless. Clips of interviews, articles, memes, opinions, people react instantly. How do you handle that? Seeing yourself dissected in real time. Johnny looks down for a moment, then back up. It's impossible to block it all, but I've learned to step back. Take a breath. Focus on what I know to be true, not what the world chooses to amplify. That doesn't mean it's easy, but it's necessary if you want to survive emotionally. The audience murmurs again. Some nod, some whisper, "That's real." Joy leans in, voice firmer. "And after the show ends, after the cameras stop rolling, what happens? How do you leave this behind?" He smiles faintly, almost at peace. "I go home. I spend time with people I trust. I do what keeps me grounded. And I remind myself that this conversation, this scrutiny, the applause, the criticism, it's temporary. Life is bigger than the spotlight." The audience reacts with a mix of soft applause and quiet chatter, absorbing the gravity of his words. Joy's voice softens. "I think that's the most important takeaway here. That even someone in your position, iconic, famous, scrutinized, is still human, still vulnerable, still figuring things out." Johnny nods. "Exactly. And if anyone watching feels overwhelmed by judgment or opinion, remember, your value isn't defined by what the world says about you." A ripple of applause spreads through the audience. Some are visibly moved, some whispering to each other, some nodding slowly. Joy smiles slightly, leaning back. "Well, Johnny, I think that's as real as it gets. Thank you for sharing it with us today." He nods in appreciation. "Thank you for letting me speak." The cameras pan to the audience, capturing the mixed reactions. Applause, quiet reflection, some clapping enthusiastically. People whisper, "That was honest, that was real." Some pull out phones to post clips online. Social media immediately begins buzzing with hashtags, tweets, and clips. Fans praising his honesty, critics still debating, and commentators dissecting every word. Joy turns to the camera one last time. "Whether you agree with him or not, what we saw today was something rare. Someone in the eye of the storm, speaking from a human place." The reactions online are already wild, but remember, behind the headlines, there's always a person. Johnny stands, gives a small wave to the audience, and exits slowly, calm but measured. Applause continues as Joy signs off. The camera cuts to the host alone. That was Johnny Depp. No promotions, no spin, just a candid conversation. Share your opinion in the comments and subscribe to Fame After Hours for more real talk show stories. The audience continues murmuring, some leaving quietly, some still talking about the intensity of what they just witnessed. Clips flood social media instantly. Reactions, memes, debates. The next few hours see thousands of shares, comments, and posts. Some supportive, some critical, some reflecting on the raw human moment they all witnessed. Even after the cameras stop rolling, the conversation lingers. Social media debates continue. Late-night commentaries pick up the clips, and articles analyze every word. For Johnny, the appearance isn't a full solution, but it's a step, a small reclaiming of narrative. A reminder that even amid scrutiny, one can speak, one can be human, one can exist outside of the headlines. Joy smiles one last time toward the camera. That's why moments like these matter. Real people, real talk, real consequences. Don't forget to share your opinion in the comments and subscribe to Fame After Hours for more real talk show stories. We'll see you next time.